Hey everyone. Uh, Fancy seeing you again. It is once again it's Chris Stegall joined by Matt Kaufman, and we are taking a look at the question we addressed earlier today, and we're so proud of having solved. It was related to this filter on a report, looking to take the year to date from the year that we're currently in, and then that same period, but 1 year ago. So, for example, today's May 1st. I want to report on January 1st through May 1st, 2024, and compare that to January 1st to May 1st, 2023. We
Gotcha.
had accomplished that
Sorry.
by building this little formula here that would take close date of today's date minus 1 off of the year. So 2024 becomes 2023. And that checks the checkbox that we added to the record. And as I was typing out this response to Tracy, I realized if we filter by that checkbox, we are only going to see opportunities with a close date of last year in that period. And we don't have a checkbox that then would be checked on this year's. And so I asked Matt to hop on a call, and I believe that we have sort of determined that if we take a look at the report that we ran, where we were like, yes, it's working, that I don't think
Yeah.
we changed the filter on the report.
Right. So this was the report. Now to be fair, I think we did test this before you pointed out a flaw, and then I made a change, and then it broke.
Yes,
So I'm
we
not
had it
blaming
working.
you, but I'm not taking the full blame either. Okay, so is why today any year is the field that we wanted to test. And I'll hit run, and now we're probably going to see 1 year now instead of two. Yeah, okay, so this is the problem
Yeah.
that you caught, and this is the formula field then that I wanted to show. So this was your formula field,
Hmm.
this was mine, and I'm just curious, not to take any sides or anything, but if I were to comment out yours and comment in, is that a thing? Comment in mine, does that fix it? Because that could be why I was led astray. I hang out with bad
Yeah.
influences. Um, so I think that's what it is. It was working. You had a very elegant solution, but we didn't test your solution,
Yeah.
and so that's why there. So you could use my formula, and it would still work. We could also try to modify this to see if that'll work also.
Do you mind zooming in on your formula,
I really mind.
please?
um, yeah.
It doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
I don't want anyone to see what I'm showing on this video.
Okay, and then just to recap, in case you are watching this as the separate, okay, here's us messing up.
Yeah,
This formula is an or statement,
right.
essentially, and it's saying if today's month is greater than or equal to the close date month, and today's day, so
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, etc., is greater than or equal to the close date day, go ahead and check that box. Or if today's month is greater than the month of the close date, you can check the
Okay.
box. We don't need to worry about the day
And
because,
I think there's a solution that incorporates your simpler formula. And I almost got to it today too. When we were talking earlier, I said something about how, well, you could also do a greater than and move this over here type of thing.
mhm,
And I think that's the key. What we need to do is to say today is greater than or equal to, and then a new date. It's a new day. And take the close date month. I'm kind of making this up as we go along. This one here, but then the year would be today's year. And I think something like that will work. And so what I'm going to do is comment this out, and then we'll test it fully, like the good testers that we are. Let's see if that works. And so what I'm that doesn't work. Because of this. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying today's date is greater than or equal to a date that includes today's year, the month of the close date for this opportunity, and the date of the close date for this opportunity. And okay, and we'll hit quick save. And now when I refresh this report, we should have the two columns still. Did that refresh? I
I
think it
think it
did.
refreshed. Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
okay.
is
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm
definitely
gonna save this, And then let's go to one of these opportunities and actually test out the checkboxes. So I think we were really close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we update that filter now so it's looking at the right field, the right
I
checkbox
believe
field?
the royal we did. Yes. Let me check. It's a good question. Is year today any year? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so I'm going to go to an opportunity, and this is checked because January 5th is at an earlier day of the year than today's date, which, if anyone remembers, is May 1st. I'm going to go ahead and change this to be 2024, and now it should still be checked. And it is. I'm going to change this to be the opposite a couple days from now, and it should be unchecked. Great. I'm going to actually do something really weird. I'm going to do 1/1/25. Let's see what happens. Oh, and so now this is a problem. Now, again, you pointed out earlier, we're not likely to have a close date in the future, but that's a possibility.
Well, it's
So,
also, I was thinking about that as I started to write the response to Tracy. For the first equation or the first formula we had done, I realized we didn't account for the year, but that is actually happening on the report with the filter because we filter
right.
close dates from the year we want to today. So theoretically, that 1/1/25 won't
Yeah,
show up on the report anyway because we filtered out the future.
right. That's true. But this is the way to fix it, is to put an and condition that says the close date is less than or equal to today.
Yeah,
And so now if we refresh this one, that one checkbox will still be checked because we didn't update these formulas, but this checkbox isn't. So I think all of the formulas need to be updated to filter on close date less than today, um, to do this right. Unless there's a weird situation where we can sell into the future and we want to know, compare this month with a year from now in the future. But that
yeah,
would be kind of weird. So all of the formulas basically need to be more complex is what we're kind of finding here. But
yeah.
as a result of having the formulas more complex, your reports can be simpler and you're less likely to have a mistake in your report. So I don't actually, let me save a little time there. I don't think it's a bad thing to have a more complex formula, even though I take pride in getting simple formulas. So
I do. I think the only immediate upside that I see to having the formula be simple and having the year get filtered on the report side is that I think more people, more users are probably comfortable filtering reports. Like if I run the report and I
sure.
see, oh, it's showing 2025, I don't want that. Oh, okay, well, I'll filter out 2025 versus if I run the report and now I want 2025 or something, I have to go into the formula, and the more complex the formula, the more scared I am to touch it.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's partly the job of an admin to enable people to create reports for
Yeah,
sure. But at the same time, there are many people, end users, who don't feel comfortable creating reports, and so you're going to have to facilitate that. So, looking back at what we created today, were these 4 fields. This field here will facilitate anyone who's a power user that wants to create reports to create any reports they want, right? These other ones have very specific purposes. If we did have another alternative purpose that was needed, I would say create yet another field.
yeah,
So if we wanted to say just, you know, is in Q1, right, regardless of the year, then I would create, and that would be useful because we did talk about what if we had custom fiscal years. Then I would create a formula field that has the checkbox for, or maybe it's better to create a field that shows the quarter that it closed in, right? Closed quarter, which actually is built in now. If we go back to the report, there is a quarter field, but I think it actually is based on the year, not just based on the word Q1. But if we come here and we go to detail rows, let's actually edit it. See, fiscal period is in there, but you can see it has the year in there.
yeah,
So if we really wanted to have a field that just showed the word Q1, we could do that as a field, and then that would allow you to filter. Only show me opportunities that are closed in Q1. The following years would be the date range, and you could group it that way. So that's what I would probably do if um, if I wanted to facilitate other people creating reports.
Yeah.
I would just create even more of these formula fields that have these very specific purposes, and then you put help bubbles on them with the text, the help text, and that way people know what they're for, and hopefully they can then create whatever report they need.
Yeah. Okay. So the end result is we did get it working. It's
Yep,
this
right here.
formula.
Yep,
And if you don't mind slacking that to me, I would appreciate it,
I
please.
will.
And then the end result on the report is that we are still filtering January 1st to today, although we don't need to
Actually,
anymore.
yeah, you don't need to do this today anymore. So now what we could do is just leave this filter empty for. Oh, we actually, yeah, we could take this one out. So your close date is on or after whatever year you want it to be. January 1st, 2023 in this case. I could also do 2022 if we want, but we don't have the data for it. And then when I run it, there we go. And if we look at the details, there should be nothing in the future. It should only be in the past. I'm not showing the date, but I'll add the date to it just to confirm. Yeah, so it ends today.
And then, what was you had close date of 2023, but we don't even need that, right? Because our
No, we do. Yeah, we need. So if we had 2022, let's go ahead and do that, and I'll run the report, and then what we'll do is we'll change one record.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, where'd my chart? Oh yeah, because I'm not. Let's change this to 2022 and save, and then we will group by close date, calendar year. Oh, the chart doesn't come back. There it is. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we did need to.
Yeah, so the date range does control how many how far in the past we will show, because the formula, it takes this year, but the month from before. So we can go back as far as we want. We can compare as many years as are in Salesforce. And again, this is historical looking, not future looking. So if it wasn't opportunities, if it was some other object and it was for forecasting purposes, then obviously we would have to rewrite this to be different. But that's trickier.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we did get it figured out. It's a good example of when somebody comes in and tries to say, I think I could do it in a better,
Yeah.
more elegant way. It might look better, but it might not work.
Well, and
And
also that's why it's important to have someone who is like a third party, someone doing QA, who's not the person who wrote the formula or the person who wrote code. You always want to have someone else with fresh eyes test, and that way they're more likely to spot problems.
yeah. And even just the benefits of talking it out. Because even though Tracy's not here, I realized it wasn't going to work as I was explaining it to a person in a text box. I said,
Yeah.
wait, this doesn't make sense. So thank you, Matt, for hopping on and solving that live
Yeah.
again.
Thank you for embarrassing me multiple times in one day.
No, I feel like this was redemption. I feel like you were briefly
Eh,
embarrassed, and now
we'll
your
see.
solution turned out to be the correct one. So,
Yeah. Well,
um,
it was a joint effort,
yeah,
right? Team effort.
joint
So
embarrassment.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, folks, for coming back and getting the real answer. Sorry if you spent a lot of time
Yeah.
following along in person and pausing the original video. Maybe I'll throw a little note in the description that says jump to
Yeah. Be
this
sure to watch the
time
end.
to watch.
Yeah.
But in any event, thank you for watching, Matt. Thank you for hopping back on, and we'll see you next time.